The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Ian is going to play a little sneaky game. In spreading a web of chaos across Genoa City, Ian Ward has found his new soft target. The man is eyeing Tessa Porter for his next move. The girl who doesn't know what Ian looks like will not see him as a threat for now. And it's Tessa's big heart that might be her undoing. So what's Ian's game here? The Young and the Restless spoilers tease that Ian thinks he has hit the ultimate jackpot. Why? He recently learned that Claire Newman happens to be friends with Mariah Copeland and Tessa. For him, this connection is a golden ticket to double down, even if Jordan isn't that excited. However, Maria wouldn't be fooled even for a second. Remember, she survived Ian's cult nightmare? So, a mere sight of Ian can make Maria's soul leave her body. But Tessa has never actually met him, let alone seen his wicked side. Subsequently, it makes her the perfect target for Ian's next string of shenanigans. Here's where things get extra spicy. Ian's cunning charm might woo anyone, but he knows that appearing as his usual creepy self won't cut it. Moreover, Tessa would spot him as a weird pedophile and step away while rolling her eyes. According to Y and R spoilers, Ian may get inspired by Jordan and pull a disguise trick. He might turn into a ragged, messy, and pitiful poor man with no roof. Furthermore, Tessa, who has been homeless herself, would totally fall for the man down on his luck. Her kind heart wouldn't stand to see Ian hanging outside society after hours, shivering in the cold. She could offer him a warm meal and maybe even some coffee while listening to his fake sob story. And just like that, Ian will win Tessa's sympathy and proceed with his plan. However, the CBS soap spoilers spill that Tessa will eventually discover Ian's true identity, and the fallout will be epic. Hey everyone! Welcome back to Radiant Serum. I'm Aubrey, and I hope your day is shining bright. Thank you for joining me. Let's jump right into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers tease that the festive season is almost upon us. This means only one thing, an added dose of drama. Well, it's not like there was any dearth of it previously. Anywho, going by the latest spoilers, Ian Ward and Jordan are aching for some sweet revenge. They already have their target trained on Sharon Newman and waiting for the right time to take her out for good. However, Sharon is not their only target. Ian and Jordan also want to get their hands on Mariah Copeland and Claire Grace Newman. Oh, and then of course, there is the rest of the Newman clan that our dear villains hate so much. So you see, the list of targets is rather endless. Now, no matter how fueled up for vengeance the duo is, they can't just go around taking down people in broad daylight. What they need is a perfect opportunity and an ambush. The Young and the Restless spoilers tease that Ian and Jordan might just get that opportunity amid the chaos that is about to hit Genoa City. The soap loves playing out snowstorm storylines that cause characters to get stranded and stuck. Perhaps I and R will revert to it yet again, and if that happens, it will give the dastardly duo the perfect opportunity to strike. If a snowstorm hits, it could lead to a power failure and a citywide blackout, and of course, dead phone lines. That would give Ian and Jordan an open playfield to creep into people's houses and launch an unexpected attack. But who will be their first target? Will they try to eliminate Sharon Newman or carry out an abduction plan for Claire? Well, at this point, our guess is as good as yours. Diane and the Young and the Restless have been pretty cryptic about Diane's missing decade. Yes, we know she was in California, and yes, we know she got involved with Jeremy Stark and sent him to prison. But what if there's another secret lurking? Did we just get a hint on the December 17 episode? If you're going to cause trouble for Diane, now would be an excellent time to do it. Sure, she and Jack are back on course after their fake breakup, but they said a lot of things in public that sounded awfully authentic. Hard to get past that. Even worse is Kyle. He forgives his mother. He doesn't forgive his mother. He kind of forgives his mother. He wants his mother to admit she hurt his feelings. Kyle will be first in line to believe if someone shows up with dirt on Diane. Phyllis may have dropped her grudge against Diane to focus on railroading Sharon into prison. Still, once that falls apart with the exposure of Jordan and Ian, she will need a new target to become self-righteous about. That's when she'll focus on Diane's past and figuring out what she was up to all those years. And who will be the one to expose what Diane was really up to in Los Angeles for all those missing years? Why not the mysterious Damien? We just discovered that he's been living in California and left his job under mysterious circumstances. What if he was mysteriously involved with Diane and can expose her past in a way neither Stark nor Phyllis could? It's all connected in Genoa City, right? As the story goes, Heather was murdered in cold blood in her and Daniel's apartment on The Young and the Restless by either Sharon or Batty's tag team Ian Ward and evil Aunt Jordan. She was killed, dumped into the river, and her body was found and brought home for burial, or so we think. What if that's not exactly true? What if there's a huge scheme going on that ends with Heather being very much alive? We agree it sounds far-fetched to bring a very much dead and worried back to life, but this is the Sofers after all. Crazy things happen in Genoa City on the daily, and this isn't even close to the first time we'll see a thought-dead player coming back to life. Heather could surprise us all with a shocking story of survival. But how, you ask? Let us take you on a little ride. What if Ian and Jordan are setting this up to make everyone think Heather is dead, but she's not? Instead, they have her locked away in the same storage room Jordan once kept Claire in. They could have made Sharon think she murdered the poor woman, but when she dumped Heather into the river, the evildoers were right there to drag the legal eagle out of the frigid waters and stow her away, and in her place, they found a doppelganger to toss into the river to swim with the fishes instead. All it would take is someone who looks close enough to have a traumatized Daniel ID, and he was so upset it wouldn't take an exact replica. Did poor Daniel grieve the loss of a stranger and bury the wrong woman? With Jordan and Ian, anything is possible. We can't help but notice that Jordan and Ian were insistent one of them had to leave the room to check in on their Genoa City enemies. What if they also wanted to check on their captive? Heather would need food and water, after all. Plus, not having Lucy at her mother's funeral seems rather odd. Could it be that oversight was a clue that Heather isn't dead and gone? If our prediction is right, we can't wait to see how the rescue will go down. Will an innocent passerby rescue her while they're wandering the building, checking on their own storage unit? Will Ian or Jordan slip up? Or will Heather find a way to save herself and run home to Genoa City? Anything is possible. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, December 18, promise Jack and Tracy recalling some of their favorite Abbott family Christmas memories. Is it too much to hope for real flashbacks? Viewers have known the Abbotts since the early 1980s. We've seen Christmases when they were talking to each other, and Christmases where they couldn't even be in the same room together. We've seen them with partners and children, and seen those partners and children turn their backs on them. Jack is hoping for a Merry Christmas. He and Diane aren't faking being estranged anymore. Kyle has admitted they may have been right about his latest stupid plan. And then there's Harrison. Christmas is always more fun with a child in the house. Tracy will never have another Christmas with her beloved daughter, and Alan will certainly never make up for that. But he's around, and he really seems to like Tracy. That's nice, at least. While the Abbotts feel warm and fuzzy, Diane tries to pretend Jack's family totally accepts her. Billy previously expressed interest in their teaming up for his benefit, but he pretended it was also for hers. Diane isn't dumb, but she is a bit lonely. Sure, it's nice to have Jack's support, but it sure would be nice not to be glared at every time she enters the room. Victor is always telling Victoria how to live her life. The last time he tried, it was to command her to stay away from Cole. Victoria and Cole both laughed at that and ignored him. So now it's Nikki's turn to give her daughter life advice. Maybe Victoria will actually listen to her mother. The residents of Genoa City have yet to figure out that Jordan and Ian have formed the most unholy tag team to hit the young and the restless since nasty nurse Sheila schemed with terrible Tom. But the thing that's really had people, especially newer viewers, scratching their heads is Ian's references to his daughter having been stolen by the Newman family. While some had an absolutely wild theory that Ian and Jordan might somehow be Claire's parents, it was shot down this week. And while it seems he is most likely talking about Mariah, there's another possibility which is even more twisted. Until this week, there were major questions regarding how Ian and Jordan came into one another's lives. The idea of them having been involved in the past led some to speculate that their past might include a child-creating fling. But in the episode which aired on December 16, which is recapped here, it was revealed that the pair first crossed paths during her far more recent incarceration. Instead, it is likely that Ian is referring to Mariah when he references his daughter, and that he doesn't mean it in the biological sense. While Maria is actually the daughter of Sharon Newman and her long-ago, now deceased, lover Frank Barrett, they never knew of her existence. Why? Because the doctor who delivered Marion, as well as her late twin, Cassie, sold the newborn to a woman who was involved in the cult led by Ian. After Maria's adoptive mother passed away, Ian raised the girl, serving as a surrogate father to her. Years later, she would show up in Genoa City after having been hired by Victor Newman to haunt Sharon. What neither Maria nor Victor knew was that Maria wasn't just a Cassie lookalike, but Sharon's actual daughter. Flash forward to the present, and it seems fairly clear that when Ian speaks of his daughter, he means Mariah. There is, however, another theory which has been floated by fans, and which would take the story in a truly shocking direction. What if Tessa is Ian's biological daughter? Could the young woman he raised have grown up to marry a singer who shares a biological tie to the madman? After all, little is known about Tessa's background, making it entirely possible that she could be Ian's offspring. The latest spoilers reveal that on Friday, December 20, Tessa walks right into a trap. Is it one that was designed to lure her wife into Ian's web? Or might Tessa herself be the true target? Audra comes down the steps of Nate's penthouse and gives him a peck on the cheek. She can't believe she slept so long. All these late mornings will throw her internal clock out of whack. Nate plans to make the most of her free time and suggests she savor the downtime before heading back to work. She says she's enjoyed their leisure time and even dinner with his family. When there is a knock at the door, she hopes it isn't family breakfast. It's Amy. Audra tells her how much she got out of her holiday with Nate, and he tells Amy that's a big deal coming for her. Amy advises Audra to enjoy every moment of them. After Audra exits, Nate announces that he has news about Damien. The PI tracked him down to LA. He's been moving around a lot, quitting a long string of jobs. This is no surprise to Amy, who says her son has so much untapped potential. Nate tells her that he will be on the first flight out when they get confirmation of where he is. He urges her to keep hope alive. As she hugs and thanks him, he admits this is becoming important to him too. At the Newman Ranch, Nikki helps Claire put the finishing touches on her outfit and notices something is wrong. Claire admits she didn't sleep well. She's nervous because she's afraid she will let her down. Nikki reminds her that she was the best assistant she ever had. Her granddaughter still worries that her brain might stop working and she won't be good at her job. She spent months talking mostly to a 7-year-old. Nikki says it's only natural to feel anxious when you start something new. She's feeling anxious herself. Hearing that makes Claire feel a little better. She's eager to prove that she can do this. I have no doubt that you are going to shine, says Nikki. Sally and Billy are having breakfast at Society. He's surprised that Phyllis hasn't gotten back to him about his proposal to take down Victor. Sally knows she's been his cheerleader lately, but she worries about this project of his. He thinks her Rara could use some work and assures her that he has a plan, and he just walked through the door. Sally turns to see Jack. Sally politely exits as Jack joins his brother. Billy assumes his brother doesn't want him back at Jabot. Jack says he can find him a place, but his brother doesn't want to be where he's not really wanted. He declares that he's working on something bigger and better. He's going to take Victor's devious plan and turn it against him. To do that, he'll need Jack's help. He wants to cripple Chancellor and buy it up. Billy still has friends on the inside of the company who can help. All he needs is some funding. His brother isn't keen to go up against Nikki and punish her for the sins of her husband. Billy reminds him of how Victor manipulated Jill and Kyle. This is a win-win. Jack says he won't get involved in this. This only confirms for Billy that he doesn't trust him. Jack warns he's losing his patience with Billy's accusations that he doesn't love and trust him. He's always been there for him. But he refuses to enable him when he is being self-destructive. Billy accuses him of only seeing his shortcomings and none of his talents. "I'm done," he declares. "There is no coming back." The brothers bicker about how they spin their issues, and Billy gets more sarcastic. He says he's fully accepted that he's on his own now. It's exciting not to care about what anyone thinks. When Jack asks if he's disowning him and no longer wants to be part of the family, Billy confirms it. Once Jack leaves, Billy sits at the bar and sends Sally a text asking to meet. Sally meets up with Audra at Crimson Lights. They talk about their late nights, and Sally is impressed that her friend even manages to crack a joke about Glissade. Audra is surprised to hear that Sally sent Billy off to help Phyllis last night. Sally makes it clear that he made his way back to her door by the end of the night. When Audra fills her in about her night with Nate's family, she admits she cried, which makes no sense to her. The Spectre wonders if the tears were a calculated manipulation on her part. Audra admits the tears were real, and no one was more surprised by that than she was. Not that this means she's going to start weeping at sappy movies. Audra admits that Nate's caring is scaring her. Sally wonders what's happened to the invincible Audra Charles and teases her about falling in love. Audra dismisses this. Sally shows her friend the text from Billy asking her to play hooky and is surprised when Audra urges her to go for it. Sally calls Billy to agree. At the Abbott manse, Kyle runs into his mother in the dining room. After some chit-chat about Harrison and his elf costume, he asks her about her latest attempt to subvert him. Earlier, he went to Jabot and discovered that she hasn't moved out of his office. Diane insists she's been trying to and has asked the maintenance department to prepare her new office. She's confused because she thought they were in a good place. Fidgeting, Kyle explains that he had a conversation with his father about whether or not she could be trusted. Diane wonders why that's even a topic of conversation. Kyle mostly believes that she meant well, and they have reconciled. However, she spent a lot of time trying to convince them all that she cared more about power than the family. Is it a surprise that he would be suspicious when he found she hadn't moved out of her office? Diane is upset that Kyle feels this way and feels awful that he's been hurt by the ruse. Kyle feels it was all too real and raw to be totally fake. Diane takes this to mean that he still thinks she's the terrible person she pretended to be. Diane doesn't know how Kyle can be backing away from their reconciliation. He doesn't know what to think right now and is trying to be honest rather than letting the hidden resentment build. They have made progress, and that means a lot to him. It's opened his eyes to things he hadn't seen about himself. Kyle says there is one last obstacle he needs to get past, and he's not sure how she can help him do that. On his way out, Kyle tells his mother he thought it was best for him to be candid. He gives her a kiss on the cheek and exits. Jack arrives moments later, and Diane fills him in about her latest conversation with their son. Shaking his head, Jack worries that someone has changed Kyle's mind. He tells Diane not to worry and promises they will be okay. I know I still have to prove myself to Kyle, but do I also have to prove myself to you? She asks. Jack knows where her heart is, and she doesn't have to prove herself to him. She loves him for believing in her, but is still upset by their son's doubts. Jack says Kyle will get over it, but she should never forget she has his support and love. That's exactly what Diane needed to hear. They kiss. Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, December 17 promise some interesting moments in the land of Genoa City. Next on Young and the Restless. Someone denies their brother's request, while another makes a vow for success, and a grandmother offers their granddaughter a hand as she enters a new chapter. What kind of drama is set to unravel on Tuesday? Time to dive right in. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Jack Abbott stands his ground. My and our spoilers for Tuesday, December 17 note while Billy Abbott is hoping to use his brother, Jack Abbott in his revenge plan, it looks like Jackie will stand his ground. Jack rarely engages in petty revenge schemes with the mustache anymore, and other than buying the assets that Victor sold off for Glissade, he doesn't engage. Sure, he and Diane Abbott faked a split up, but that wasn't to get back at Victor. It was more to awaken their son, Kyle Abbott, to the mustache's antics. With that said, will Billy take no for an answer? I and our spoilers, Diane Abbott's vow of success. Speaking of Diane, Y and our spoilers for Tuesday, December 17 suggest that she'll make a promise to prove herself. She's about to relaunch Jabot Classics, so will this project soar under Diane or flop? Diane gracefully stepped down from her Jabot CEO role to give it to Kyle. As the two once bickered when she was the head honcho of the family company, she has a lot to prove. Will she fail or succeed with this special project? Only time will tell. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Claire Newman's fresh chapter. Lastly, Y and our spoilers for Tuesday hint that Claire Newman will be ready for her new chapter at Chancellor, and Nikki Newman will be right by her side. Still, with Jordan and Ian Ward lingering in the shadows, how long before this new start for Claire ends in disaster? Fans will have to tune in to find out. Are you excited about Tuesday's show? The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Jordan and Ian Ward are both villains determined to get payback. However, the longer that these two work together, the more they bicker. With Ian's latest demand, could Jordan decide to take matters into her own hands and get rid of her evil partner in crime? Could Jordan end up warning Sharon Newman instead of killing her as Ian demanded? The Young and the Restless spoilers Jordan Howard's unexpected escape. My and our spoilers reveal that Jordan escaped from the maximum security prison she was sent to. However, as fans have seen in flashbacks, Jordan and Ian met at the prison, but in an unexpected way. Ian was the one to first approach Jordan. Apparently, Ian was already reformed and released and spent his time sharing the word of God with inmates. Jordan wasn't interested until Ian mentioned the Newman family in Genoa City. My and our spoilers, villains divided. Now that Ian and Jordan are both on the loose again, they are working together. Ian got Jordan out of prison, but it means she's a fugitive. Jordan is right that she is taking most of the risks, but she's doing Ian's bidding. Jordan wants Ian to now do something for her. Ian isn't interested in working as a team though. Ian talks down to Jordan, something she doesn't like at all. If Ian doesn't want Jordan crossing him, then he might want to play nice for a bit. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Ian Ward's killer demand. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that when working alone, Jordan usually only takes risks if it's for a very good reason. However, Ian ordered Jordan to go back out into the town just to report back the reactions of Sharon's loved ones. That alone was pretty silly and something that could have easily gotten Jordan busted. Then Ian decided to change the plan, but Jordan wasn't having it. Interestingly enough, it almost seemed as if Jordan was trying to keep Claire Grace Newman away from Ian. Jordan keeps referring to Claire as her niece and claims the Newman family brainwashed her. So maybe Jordan really is deluded about her own actions. Now Ian has told Jordan that it's time for Sharon to die. Jordan could be ordered to kill Sharon by Ian. Jordan seemed pretty shocked and horrified, which was interesting. Jordan was the one putting vodka in Nikki Newman's IV, so she's not afraid to kill. Perhaps Jordan knows if she kills, Ian could easily get rid of her before she gets revenge on her own targets. Is it possible that Jordan might try to save her own skin while getting rid of Ian? Could Jordan do this by somehow warning Sharon of Ian's plan? I could see Jordan using this as a way to lighten her sentence, or even to confuse people. Mostly, how will Claire react? The Young and the Restless spoilers tease that unemployed Audra Charles is desperate. She is desperate for work, but could her desperation be driving her to deceive Nate Hastings and his family? Audra is a known schemer, and her relationship with Nate isn't going down well with his family. Last week, she joined the family for dinner and had a vulnerable moment that shocked everyone. Was Audra being genuine or conniving? The Young and the Restless spoilers, is Audra scheming? Audra told Nate that she wanted to change his family's opinion of her, and in the December 13 episode, she got weepy at Lily Winter's special dinner party. If she is truly changing, we're not sure we like that. Audra is one of daytime's best villains. At the table, Audra said she was touched by how close the family is. This includes Lily, Devin Winters, and Abby Winters. Audra did not have a happy childhood, and she shared more with Nate about that when they were alone. My and our spoilers. Nate Hastings is trusting. Nate has been kind and patient with Audra, and even offered to put in a good word about her with Devin at the family business. She refused, saying she wants to make it on her own, but what if that is a lie? Could Audra be playing the clan in order to get inside the company and take it over? Devin wasn't convinced that Audra is changed, but then again he is the prototypical doubting Thomas. The Young and the spoilers, is Devin right about Audra? Maybe being out of work and unappreciated has gotten to Audra. She could be genuinely moved by a family's love, since she never had that. To her benefit, she has shown a softer side before with Nikki Newman. When Nikki was drinking, Audra told her about how she tried to help her own alcoholic father. So it's possible that Audra genuinely felt emotional during the Winters dinner party. Then again, this is Audra the shark we're talking about. My and our spoilers. What happens next in Genoa City, Wisconsin? We predict that we will see more of Audra's softer side in the coming days, but that we'll have to wait to see if it's all an act. The residents of Genoa City of the Young and the Restless are facing danger and chaos from the criminals Ian Ward and Jordan Howard as the two joined hands recently. While their connection with the killing of Heather Stevens is as yet unclear, the audience knows that they are targeting Sharon Newman by messing with her mental health. However, Sharon took a hypnosis session with psychologist and therapist Alan Laurent to remember forgotten facts. The therapy was a success as Sharon remembered a dark pickup truck overtaking her car before the accident. However, their ordeal is not over since Ian changed his plan and now wants to target Tessa Porter to get to Claire and Mariah. Ian and Jordan have returned to the plot of the long-running CBS daily soap. The villains were put behind bars by Victor Newman, the patriarch of the Newman family. Besides the Newman family, the Young and the Restless's storyline also includes the Abbott family, the Winters family, the Chancellor family, the Baldwin Fishers family, and others in the fictional Genoa City. Sharon Newman, who is a patient with bipolar disorder, has been having hallucinations and blackouts recently. During her fainting spells, she became party to some crimes, including Heather Stevens' murder. Hallucinating the already dead Cameron guiding her, Sharon dumped Heather's body and planted evidence on Heather's partner, Daniel Romalotti. Soon, Daniel's mother and Sharon's longtime rival, Phyllis Summers, was called by Sharon's text messages to her home. As Phyllis drove herself to Sharon's house, she was driven off the road into a car accident. Waking up from her near-fatal accident, Phyllis blamed Sharon for attempting to kill her. Sharon, who was on the same road at the same time, had one of her blackouts and did not remember the accident. Believing herself responsible for causing Phyllis's crash, Sharon confessed her crimes to the police. However, her former husband, Nick Newman, refused to believe Sharon's confession. Soon, a test on Sharon's medication revealed tampering as it contained traces of PCP, leading to her blackouts and hallucinations. On the other hand, Phyllis remembered seeing a vehicle different from the one Sharon drove when getting pushed out of the road. As such, Sharon decided to go for a hypnosis session to try and remember that night before the accident. As The Young and the Restless episode, dated December 16, 2024, showed, Sharon remembered a dark pickup truck overtaking hers. While she remembered the truck was going towards town before her blackout, she remembered hearing the noise of the crash at a distance. This meant Sharon was neither involved in Phyllis's car accident nor was near the accident spot. While this may help exonerate Sharon, it might also lead towards Heather's real killers. The Young and the Restless fans know Ian Ward is restful towards Victor Newman and wants to avenge his past. He wanted to marry Mariah Copeland, a member of his cult. But Victor put a stop to his nefarious plan and got him arrested. He lost Mariah due to Victor, as Jordan lost Claire to the Newman family. They both hold resentment and angst against the Newmans. However, Ian has no connection to Tessa Porter. As Monday's episode presented, Ian was in the vicinity of Claire, Mariah, and Tessa as the three chatted and noted the friendship. The criminal watched on as the three girls shared information, and Mariah told Claire about her mother's hypnosis session to remember more about the accident. She also relayed her father's text that the session brought progress. With this information, Ian headed back to Jordan in his motel. He informed Jordan that her niece Claire Howard Newman and his former disciple Mariah Copeland were friends, and he planned to exploit this connection to his benefit. He contrived to charm and befriend Tessa Porter since she does not know him. He possibly plans to use Tessa to get at Mariah and Claire. For Jordan, Ian had a task. Jordan is supposed to eliminate Sharon for good, forever. Claire Newman's character on The Young and the Restless is made up of tensions amidst dramatic plot twists in Genoa City, where the show is set. Recently on the show, she was shown having a budding romance with Kyle Abbott. The couple was loved by fans and were on the brink of committing to each other when Claire's life took a sharp turn. Claire Newman's grandfather, Victor Newman, the overarching patriarch of the family, is shown in recent spoilers of The Young and the Restless, forcing Claire to test her loyalty towards their family. His game plan consists of pushing her to betray Kyle to prove her allegiance. Kyle Abbott comes from the prestigious Abbott family, and Victor detests his father Jack Abbott and wants to take over his Jabot empire. On the other hand, Summer Newman's tactics to try to divert Kyle's attention from Claire to her also comes at a crucial time for her. The Young and the Restless episodes have always proven to be filled with dramatization and promises of tension-filled episodes, showing the characters making difficult choices that may change the course of their character arcs. Victor's devious strategies to use Claire for his gains have proved to be working. He only recently acknowledged her as his daughter, and he knows Claire will be ready to go to any lengths to prove herself to him. He decided to either let her overhear him speaking about his desires to take over Jack Abbott's empire or confront her directly about it. Both of these situations will cause Claire significant emotional turmoil. In the latest episodes of The Young and the Restless, Claire has been shown trying to decide whether she will betray Kyle or side with her family. Victor's decision comes at a crucial time when Kyle and Claire's relationship is at such an important stage. Claire's decision will end up making or breaking their relationship. while she is stuck at a crossroads to try to prove herself further to Victor as his granddaughter or be faithful to her partner Kyle. Her decision will prove to affect the residents of Genoa City, Wisconsin. Summer Newman, who always had been wary of Kyle and Claire's relationship, has been trying to rekindle her relationship with Kyle ever since Claire left her job of being a nanny for Harrison Abbott. Summer's decision to try to push Kyle away from Claire comes at a time when the latter is already shown to be struggling to maintain her family dynamics and her romantic relationships. Summer's attempts at trying to revive her past relationship with Kyle when Claire's relationship is already affected due to Victor Newman shows how badly she wants Claire to succumb to these pressures. The upcoming episodes of The Young and the Restless will show how Claire will try to safeguard her relationship alongside the other troubles she has to face. On her first day of work at Chancellor, Claire shared with Nikki that she was worried about doing a good job. Nikki told her to get ready for an exciting new adventure and that she had no reason to be nervous. Claire wanted to prove to herself and to the family that she was really a good person with only the best intentions. Nikki told Claire that she had great faith and trust in her, and if she didn't, she wouldn't have hired her. When Nikki and Claire walked into the office, Esther was there to greet them. She surprised Claire by showing her the bouquet of flowers that had been delivered. Claire was delighted when she read the card and realized it was Kyle who had sent the bouquet, congratulating her on the first day of her new career. Nikki saw Claire's face fall and wondered why. Claire shared that she was concerned about Victor's warning and thought that Victor used Kyle to hurt Jack and could do it again. She said that Victor told her that he was just giving Kyle an opportunity, but Kyle believed that Victor used him. Nikki advised Claire to follow her heart and not worry about Victor's opinion. At Nate's, he and Audra discussed her need to find a job. Amy came by and thanked them for Thanksgiving. Nate said half-heartedly that Audra didn't love holidays. She told Audra that she should savor every special occasion that she was given because one day she could wake up and wish that she could relive them again. After Audra left, Nate shared that the private investigator had followed Damien to LA but had trouble keeping up as he had a long string of jobs. Amy lamented that she had wanted more for her son. Nate hoped that Damien stayed in LA so that the PI could pinpoint where he was. He clarified that the investigator was instructed not to speak to him but to call Nate immediately. He promised if that happened, he would drop everything and go talk to him in person himself. In the Abbott dining room, Kyle saw Diane and asked if she wanted to discuss her latest passive-aggressive move against him. She didn't know what he was talking about. Kyle explained that he had gone to his new office and had seen that she hadn't moved out. He took that to mean that she had no intention of it. Diane was taken aback and assured Kyle that she was just delayed by her new office not being ready and that she hadn't realized how that would look to him. She told Kyle to call maintenance, and they would assure him that she had put in a request for a new carpet. Diane was upset and said she thought they had settled everything that happened before and put it behind them. What happened? Diane wondered. Kyle admitted that he and Jack had had a talk, and they discussed whether or not they could trust her. Kyle apologized for jumping the gun, but Diane didn't understand why trusting her was even a topic of conversation. She said everything she did was to gain back love and trust, and it broke her heart that he would second-guess her now. Kyle explained that seeing her stuff in the office seemed like a red flag, and he thought it was best to address it immediately. He pointed out that watching Diana pretend to be against them was too real and too raw to be fake. "So you're saying you still think I'm the terrible person I pretended to be?" Diane asked. Kyle admitted that Diane's performance was too real and that maybe it was her subconscious talking. Diane wondered why he was backtracking on what she thought was a sincere reconciliation. She asked if Victor had put the thoughts in Kyle's head. Kyle snapped that Victor had zero influence on him. He was just trying to be honest. He assured Diane that they had made progress. but he just needed to get over that last obstacle, but he wasn't sure how to. Audra met with Sally, and they both dished about the men they don't call boyfriends. Sally told Audra how she'd had a nice evening with Billy until Phyllis interrupted but said he came over later. Audra told Sally about her dinner with Nate's family and that she'd gotten emotional. Sally couldn't believe that Audra did something so out of character and asked if her tears were fake and part of some calculation. Audra insisted the crying was real, but she didn't know what had come over her. Sally wondered if Nate knew how to touch Audra's feelings that she kept so close, and maybe it was indicative that the real thing had come along. Audra thought it was possible, but admitted that thought scared the hell out of her. First tears, now fear? Sally mocked. Just then, Billy texted and asked Sally to play hooky with him, but she said she had to work. Audra encouraged her to blow off work and not let the opportunity for spontaneous time with her guy slip away. Sally asked for the real Audra Charles to stand up. She pointed out that Audra actually told her to choose her personal relationship over working. Maybe I'm evolving, Audra mused. Billy and Sally had breakfast at Society, and he told her he planned to pursue Victor. Sally balked, saying he would never win at that game, but Billy told her he had a plan to ensure his success. He said his new plan included Jack, who had just walked in. Sally left for work, and Jack took her spot. It didn't take long for Billy and Jack to squabble. Billy told Jack that he was tired of him, telling him he was always wrong, and that he was testing him when he'd come to him about a job at Jebot. Billy said it was a loyalty test, and he hoped that he was wrong, but Jack ended up proving that he was right. Billy told Jack he wasn't interested in working at Jebot, but once again, Jack said he was sure he could find him something to do there. Billy snapped at how he was always so condescending and said he was working on something bigger. Jack hoped it wasn't a revenge scheme. Billy admitted he was going ahead with his plan against Victor. Billy told Jack he was going to get Chancellor back and put himself back on top by doing to Victor what he has done to Billy. He planned to ensure that Nikki failed at running Chancellor. Billy reminded Jack of all the things that Victor had done to deserve a revenge plot against him. Jack said he wouldn't help with anything that involved punishing Nikki more than Victor. Billy noted that Jack was fine with hurting Billy as part of his own revenge plot against Victor. He said that Jack's loyalty was off, and he was putting him back on the list of people he couldn't trust. Billy told Jack how offensive he was by always cutting him down. Jack insisted he only pointed out Billy's shortcomings in an effort to help him overcome them. Billy asked why he never pointed out his accomplishments and said he was sick and tired of it. "I'm done. This has gone far enough. There is no coming back," Billy decided. Jack asked why Billy has to always put a spin on things, but Billy said the fact that Jack does that is the issue. "You make it like I'm the only one who ever has a problem, and that I have no redeeming qualities," Billy told his brother. Jack said that Billy's bad choices put him in this predicament between Victor and Chancellor. He wondered if Billy was ever going to take responsibility for his actions. Billy told Jack that he was taking responsibility, and that what Jack and Jill thought no longer mattered. He said he would do what he wanted without having to answer to them, and it felt great. "I'm going to sleep great tonight, better than I have in years," Billy said. "Are you disowning me?" Jack asked. "In a word, exactly," Billy replied. Jack went home and found Diane upset about her conversation with Kyle. She noted that Victor warned her that a bomb had dropped on their family, and they couldn't recover. Jack told Diane to give Kyle some time. "For as long as we live, you don't have to prove yourself to me. I know where your heart is," Jack soothed. He told Diane not to let Victor worm his way into her head. Diane was happy that Jack believed in her, but was upset that Kyle still had doubts. Jack was sure that Kyle would get over the hump. "In the meantime, never doubt that you have your husband's full support, trust, and love," Jack added. After Jack left, Billy messaged Phyllis and asked if she had given any thought to his plans. While he waited for a response, he texted Sally and asked her to play hooky and come out with him. She called and said okay, asking where and when to meet him. At Chancellor, Kyle dropped in to see Claire. She thanked him for the flowers, and he told her it was the least he could do. "I'm so proud of you," Kyle told her. He asked her out to dinner to celebrate and gave her a kiss before leaving her smiling. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.